Morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. It is a beautiful day here in the South. It is already 52 degrees. It is sunny out today. It's been wonderful the last couple of days, and I've been enjoying the outdoors. So I heard the Northeast hasn't been too bad either. So hopefully all of you have been out and about. And enjoying. And good morning to Gail on Facebook and YouTube on the Empowering Process podcast. Good morning, Kathy. And so far, we didn't get knocked off Facebook at the start, so it looks good so far. It's a beautiful morning. I'm stealing your stuff.
I see that. Don't get too comfortable. Good morning, mi gente. Aquí con la Margarita, your gladiator guru. And it is, you know what it is, a beautiful morning, whether it's raining, snowing, overcast, hot, bright, sunny day. Because you know what? You're alive. You got up, you wiped your butt, you washed your face, and now we're sharing this moment together. So it's always a beautiful morning. And it's always a successful evening when you get to crawl in your bed under a roof in the safety of your home. So good morning, buenos días, namaste, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All it right. Is wonderful because I'm so awesome that I...
what? I am too.
I am in love.
Seriously.
I have fallen in
love.
It's
always about you.
It is. It's always about me. It
should always about be about you.
So you know what? Let's have a great morning, Milagritos. ¿Cómo están?
Milagros and Tiffany. Good morning, everybody. All right.
Gail. You know, ladies, Kathy Ruiz, you know, it is a beautiful morning. The Badass Buddha and I were talking yesterday about our tribe, and we are so very blessed with you. And, you know, every day we learn from one another, and that's what a tribe is supposed to do. The comments you leave, you showing up, solidifies us showing up, and vice versa. So, gracias. Because if not you, then who?
And good morning to Georgianne. Georgianne is in the house this morning, one of my people from my old neighborhood, and sending you lots of love, Georgianne. I know you've been going through a lot of stuff the last couple of weeks, so just sending you lots of love. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. And Edith says here this morning, good morning. And Edith had a beautiful weekend as well, heartfelt weekend, and we honor your father and his memorial. And we're happy that all of you are here. You know, there's life is like that. You know, life just, there's so much stuff that happens, you know, good, bad, and challenging. You know, sometimes it's not bad, it's just challenging. So we don't necessarily have to say that it's a bad situation, but we just appreciate that you're here, that you come on, you know, and we would love it even more if you would share it. But feel, you know, don't, if you can, great. Don't feel like there's pressure to do so. We would just love to have more people on and build that tribe up. So if you could share it, that would be great. But we are glad for our tribe because you have been so wonderfully loyal to us. And we were just talking about this yesterday. You know, we're going to be celebrating. This is our 5th season. We'll be celebrating our 4th year, May 9th. So we're trying to put together a special show that day. It's a Tuesday. But the thing is, it's like got 4 years, you know. We started this in, you know, during the quote pandemic when everything shut down. We thought it would be fun to do. Everybody started everything. You know, there were more podcasts that were started, more video, you know, podcasts that were started. People became coaches, like all these things. But the question is who's still doing it, you know? who's still working it, who was just, they did it and then that was it and they went back to work and that was that. Luckily for us, we're self-employed, so being entrepreneurs, we can create this into our schedule. And even if we were working, we would, look, Gladiator Guru got a job temporarily and she fit it into the schedule. So we love doing this, and we love being a part of the tribe as well. And we really appreciate all of you. Good morning, Madeline.
Yes, it is. You know what? You're worthy. That's why you show up. We know we're worthy. That's why we show up. And as a collective, what can we say? We show up for ourselves and for each other. And that makes us already like successful and anointed and grateful. When you show up for yourself, whether you want to or not, and then you have to do it because you're showing up for others, priceless. So
absolutely. So I spelled Hernandez wrong. I don't have my glasses on, Madeline. I apologize. Oh, you're welcome, Gail. And again, another one, Gail's been going through a lot, and Gail, you know what? We appreciate your support. Gail shows up. Gail doesn't have to show up. Really has been going through a lot, and day to day, she never knows how she's going to feel. Not only did she show up for the show, but I even had a writer's workshop the other night, and she showed up to that, and I appreciate that. Really, that's the whole point is, we honor, and she's a phenomenal business person. And, she's been, as a result of her experiences in the last few months, she has really shifted a lot, and a lot of insight has come in, and she's actually shifting again with regards to some of the things that she's doing for her business. She's almost done with her next book. So she's going to be releasing that soon, Oh, and speaking of books, we are getting ready to release, we're not getting ready to release. We're going to be releasing Her Badass Story 4 in September 16th. We're looking for authors. We had 15 slots, 3 are already filled. So we're looking for 12 more people. If you know anybody, any woman that wants to share her story, we'd love to have them in the compilation book. And if you need any more information, I'll post a link that you can share with other people. But in the meantime, you can always reach out to me as well. You could just message me directly. So that's it. So shall we set the intention and do the mantra?
Absolutely.
Okay, so be intentional today, as in every day. It's just a reminder. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to remind you, but hopefully all the days in between, you will remember on your own to wake up and set an intention for your day. What would you like to accomplish today? What's your purpose for today? But be purposeful.
And do it in gratitude.
Yes, ma'am.
Whether you show up dressed up, looking like a hobo, una zarapastrosa, it doesn't matter. Set your intentions, do it in gratitude, and pop up like slap magic into your life. You don't have to be with your hair done. You don't have to have makeup on. You don't have to be dressed to the hilt. You just have to show up for yourself.
That's right. Good morning,
Gwen. Be intentionally grateful for the life that you have.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Okay.
Amen.
Go ahead.
All right. So let's see. Haven't worn makeup in 9 months, Gail says. Good for you. Good for you, Gail. It's funny. I find that when I look the worst and I go out, like if I'll go out to like Lowe's and I'm working in the yard and I'm all gross and disgusting, I get more like guys hitting on me when I look nice. I don't know what that means. I've never been able to figure that one out. But that doesn't mean I'm going to dress like that everywhere I go. I still want to. I guess it depends on your location, right? I'm not going to show up at a network meeting looking like I was working in the yard. I probably wouldn't do well. But anyway, all right.
Gail says she hasn't worn makeup in 9 months. And yes. You know what, Gail? I'm with you. I put a little bit on today, just a little bit. And I hadn't put makeup on since Thursday. And I felt good. And I have been doing that. I usually only put makeup on if I'm going to really go somewhere or like in the mornings for the show, because we all know when I put on my makeup, Wake up. But so that's good. I wanted to show you something because
Oh, I thought we were going to do
I've
the
been
mantra.
yes, but I wanted to share something with Gail because you said something about Gail. And looking through my stuff, getting organized where I'm at, and I found something, Gail, and I wanted to show you because women are so powerful, right? We go through the cancers, we go through the psychological dramas, we go through everything that happens to us, and we show up. And so I created a whole series. This is the only one I have that I found, but I wanted to show you how these purses are for the women of strength, for the women of courage. And this is one like with a mastectomy. I have some with both of them. I have some with on the other side. I have some with a hysterectomy scar. And they all sold. And this is like the only one that I found. And I was gonna throw it away. And then I was like, wow,
Why?
that's a powerful statement.
Yes.
So it is. Because women need to know it's okay. You're strong, but there's so many women who are so ashamed and they go and they put poison on their bodies to cover up. And anyway, let's do the mantra. I just wanted to, I'm
No,
with
that
you.
was wonderful.
I
And
was
I'm very
thinking,
glad. I'm glad you did not throw that out. That's silly.
and so yeah, and I think it's just, and then the aura, and see the aura around her, just coming out, shining bright. She's sitting there like, try me. So I love it.
Oh, good morning, Liza. Liza's in the house. We haven't seen
Hi,
Liza in a
Liza.
while. Liza always has her
Right.
her colorful and fun comments to add. And good morning to my beautiful friend Priscilla. Miss you, my girl. All right, here we go. Let's say the mantra. Say it loud and say it proud. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I keep it real.
What a no doubt, bitches.
And it looks like Chenille Real Deal is in the house too. So good
Hello,
morning,
prima.
everybody.
I've missed you.
Good morning. We hope you had a really lovely weekend. We know that I was talking to a friend of mine, and there's been a lot of sicknesses for kids going around, and like there's kids staying home. There's a lot of flu going on, but just understand that this is life. Life. There's that, and then it sidelines you for a little bit, and then it sidelines you, your children, your grandchildren, whatever it is. But then we heal from it. We get better. We're stronger for it, and then we move on. And it's just like anything. It's just like anything in life. If we gain something from the experience, we are a better person. So with regard to being exposed to a virus or a bacteria, we gain stronger immunity to it. So we're a better person. We're different than we were the day before.
Mhm.
But today, we're welcoming March as, oh my gosh, I don't have my cheat sheet. What did we say March is? Oh, goodness.
The
Do you have
becoming.
yours? I don't know what I did with mine.
Isn't it the becoming?
Becoming, yes. Thank you, Gladiator Guru. It is the becoming. So March is the becoming month. And we're starting off with today's conversation is breathe out the now. So breathe out the now. So Gladiator Guru, you want to start explain what we mean by that?
It's breathing out the now. It's to be fully present in your now. Own your moment, because that is all you have. So breathe out. Breathing out the now is being fully aware of where you are right now, whether you like it or not, because it brings you clarity. It makes you feel very present in what it is that you're doing. And you do that on the breath out. You feel that you're grounded wherever it is you're standing. You're here. You're not in yesterday and you're not in tomorrow. You are here. That is breathing out the now.
And it's symbolic to say, now is now, the present time, and we are very often not in the present moment. We we sort of, you're thinking about the past or we're thinking about the future, and they're all not, there's nothing wrong necessarily with that as long as we don't live in it. You know, it's wonderful to reflect on the past, whether it's a good or bad memory, but the goal is to not stay stuck there. And it's okay to think about the future, because we have to. Let's be realistic. You know, we have to think ahead. We can't just live from from each day, moment in time. And but we skip the present. You know, as that expression says, the present is a gift. It's so we have to take those moments and be present. And breathing out the now doesn't mean that you're like, oh, like I'm breathing out. It's sort of like Gladiator Guru's mantra, that's breathe in the beauty, breathe out the bullshit. It's breathing out the now. It's just when you take that breath and you go, and you are present. You are who you are at this moment in time. And that's what we're getting at today. If we're talking about March being the becoming month, we are talking about future. We're talking about the present and the future. We're going to be constantly going back and forth with who are you today? Who are you planning to be? Who are you today? Who are you planning to be? What are you doing today? What are you planning to do tomorrow? Because today and tomorrow is what matters most. The past is already there. It's already gone. And then if yesterday something challenging or bad happened to you, what did you learn from it for today, the now, and what are you going to do differently for the future?
Okay. And I want to just say something that is very important, okay, to a lot of us. If you're going to do anything that's going to better your life, please walk your talk. Because I've listened to people repeat shit because it sounds good rolling off their tongues. And I've heard people say, oh, yeah, we got to do this and we got to do that. And then we're not doing anything. So walk your talk. So if you're saying, I'm going to be present in my today, well, damn it, be present. Don't have in the next 10 minutes be talking about what you're stressed about, what happened last week. And I don't know how I'm going to make it for next week or at the end of the month. You have to be present, because when you are present, it does bring you a clarity. When you have clarity of mind, you can then be supportive of yourself. You can set a tone, look at it, know exactly what you're going to do, and have a plan B with it. But I've listened to a lot of people who repeat stuff that they're hearing. I've heard people repeat shit that I've said, and they're telling it to me like if they heard it from someone else or they made it up. And I laugh. And Iris is my witness because she's on right now. We were laughing the other day because of that. And I let it go because at least they're paying attention to something. And so, and then I just nodded. Okay, that sounds good. Because it is good because I said it, right? So walk your talk. Don't listen to a podcast. Don't read something in a book and start spitting it out like it is the most Einstein idea, and you're not walking it. When you listen to a podcast, when you read a book, when you speak to a friend, you're supposed to absorb what they're saying. And if it touches you in the right place, then you can then add it to your life. You can
I'm sorry.
look.
What did you just say? No, I'm just kidding.
So, but don't just repeat what you heard someone else say. Don't repeat what you read. Don't, because it sounds good and everybody's talking about it. Do it because it's benefiting your life. Because remember, there's only one you. People can imitate you. They can pretend to be you. They can copy you, but they can never be you. Be you. You can never be anybody else. You can adapt to things, but adapt to the things that are going to be very becoming in your life. And that's the whole month of March, the becoming.
The becoming.
So if you haven't learned who the hell you are, you know what is baby steps. We all had to learn with baby steps. But write something great about yourself that you learned every day. So whatever you learned yesterday, write it down today. Whether it was something you didn't like, or something that you enjoyed, or someone that there was something about that you couldn't connect. We all have a spirituality gift. So if you meet someone and you don't like them right away, pay attention to your life. Stop following the masses. Stop trying to copy somebody. Be who you are. Learn who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you're going to grow in, what are the weeds in your life, and what are the blossoming fruits of your labor. And I needed to say that because when you're becoming, it's a thin line. We're becoming what you think's acceptable in society or becoming who you were born to be. Because the latter is the difficult one. That's where you got to be fully aware and fully present in your now. So let's learn that breathing technique.
Yep, exactly. You know, I think it's more important now than ever for us to really focus on ourselves, but not in a selfish way. You know, like in other words, we live in a way too self-absorbed society. Our world is very, especially in this country, very self-absorbed, very selfish, very entitled. But there is a very big difference between understanding self and then being able to connect appropriately to people. You know, people aren't there for your pleasure and for you to decide what you want to do with them. People are just there. And some people will mesh with you and some people won't. But the only way you'll know is if you know who you are. And let's make this year exciting about becoming something spectacular. You know, if you've already felt it, if you've already seen changes happening in your life or things that are laying out that are different this year than they already were last year, then this is exciting. Ride that wave. Don't be afraid. And that's sometimes what happens. A lot of times we'll start to see changes. We've asked for the changes, and then we start to get a little freaked out by the changes. And it's that fear of success. So we self-sabotage or we slow things down a little bit. We get lazy and we drag our feet and we're going slower than we want to. And then the end of the year comes because, you know, look, we're in March already. The months and the weeks and months just go by. And then we look at it and say, you know, what did I do this year? Again, going back to that, if you're sitting on the porch at 90 years old on that rocking chair, what stories are you going to tell? You're going to be talking about how you wished you did this, and you're telling those younger people, don't let this go by too fast. You're going to regret. Or is it going to be filled with stories of the things that you've achieved? So you have to be in the now, be in the present moment of who you are, acknowledge who you are, what you're doing now and what you're not doing now. And then the why. Why am I not doing? Why am I doing? Am I doing for the right reasons? Am I doing for the wrong reasons? What does that mean? That means, like, if you had a whole laundry list of stuff to do and somebody called you and said, oh, I need you to do this for me. And you say, oh, well, or maybe in your head, you're thinking, well, I've got this to do. Or maybe you did say, well, I've got all this stuff to do. Oh, but you know, I really could use you and I need you right now. You have to make a decision. You know, do I fit this in? Can I fit this in? And if not, do I tell this person, or do I just let them run it and say, okay, I'll do that for you. And then you get behind and you don't do what you need to do. You know, sometimes it's discernment. It's deciding at that moment in time what needs to happen. And I'll give you an example. So there's been my children and I, my two youngest children and I have been having moments lately. It's very interesting. It's just out of the blue, like all of a sudden they're wanting to be next to me. And I'm not knocking that one, because when you have a 20-year-old and a 10-year-old that actually want to be around you, that's pretty cool. So I've been having these moments where they've been wanting to be next to me at the weirdest times. Like one time I was extremely exhausted. I was like practically falling asleep, but they wanted to just hang out with me and talk with me in my room. And then last night there was a conversation while the youngest one, I was helping her with homework. And I kept looking at, in the distance, in the den, I had my stuff, my work that I was doing that I had put down for like the last 3 hours between cooking and cleaning up and then helping with homework. And I'm looking at it going, I really need to do work. I really need to get some work done, even though it was late. It's like, I just am so behind. And I thought to myself, what am I, stupid? You know, the work will get done. There will always be a time where I can finish it. But this does not come about that often. And so I sat there and I was present and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I enjoyed hanging out and talking with the two kids. Then we went back to do some homework. Then the older one went in the other room. Then she came back in. But it's taking that idea and saying to myself, in this now, what am I becoming? I'm becoming a better mom because I'm doing what I'm doing in the now. Does that mean I'm going to be a lousy business person? I'm not going to get that done. No, I'll get that done, because there's going to be moments when those kids are in their rooms and they could care less about talking to mom. So then I take advantage of that time. And then, you know, or maybe say, hey, listen, I got to work a little bit. Can we give me 30 minutes? You know, there's nothing wrong with saying that either. But in those moments, there was not going to be another time. I recognized it. I knew that I had to do this now and be present and enjoy every minute of it. Because if I said, no, let's reconvene in 30 minutes, that energy,
The moment's gone.
it would have been exactly.
And that's where Emma bombed back. If I had my life to live over, I would go play with the kids and do the laundry later. I mean, everything you said is just beautiful, because it just brought me back to the Irma Bombeck poem, If I Had My Life to Live Over. And it says, I would drive with my convertible down and let the wind go through the hair that I just had done at the beauty salon. And it's perfect because it brings it back. Sometimes we put too much, and just something we can come back to. But you said two things. First of all, wake up in the morning. And if you have an idea, ponder it. Don't just, oh, no, I can't do that today. I'm too busy. Don't do that. It's the same thing like she's saying about the kids. Like, she had a choice, and she knew this moment wouldn't come back. This shit, I can always schedule it. So you have to understand what's pivotal in your life, what's going to keep that blood pumping through your veins. So when you wake up in the morning and an idea pops up, ponder it, create the plan, execute the build as only you can, because the idea came to you. And the Badass Buddha and I were talking yesterday how when we do think of something and then we do nothing, before you know it, someone else, the idea floated to their brain, to their heart. It's in their soul. And guess what they're doing? They're brilliantly living in abundance with the plan that came to you first. And you was like, oh, it's not the right time for me. And then you, Badass Buddha, you're always saying, and ask the why. I like to say, ask the what. Whys can lead me down a rabbit hole that I don't want. So what have I done, and what can I do different? What can I do better? And my dear, dear friend Byron, who's been on the show, he always says, why are you always asking why? And this was years ago when we had the Watermark podcast. And he's like, it's never the why, it's always the what. This is what happened. What can I do? What can I contribute to make it better or to do it different? So I like that you have the why and I have the what, because it brings into a great conversation. And Liza, you're not the only one whose boobs have dropped. Okay? If you want to have a boob dropping contest, I'm sure that will all
my boobs have been sagging since I was like in my late 20s, I think. And I don't even have big boobs. That's the irony is that I don't have large breasts. How could you sag small breasts? But apparently that is the case. So mine have been sagging for that.
Even with that, as women, we're like, they say, knowledge is power, but to know, it's truly not to understand. I think when you walk in wisdom is when you truly understand what's going on. And we as women are so powerful, and we don't utilize that to our benefit. Like, we're taught everything, gravity hits us first and it does all this, but we learn how to then take from that and create something beautiful. Okay, like you said, yours has been sagging for a while. So what has that taught you? We don't have time to waste time, right?
Yeah,
we don't have time to waste time. And it's like my favorite quote: the biggest mistake we humans make is thinking we have time, and we don't. There's a line in the movie The Green Mile, my favorite line, and it's when the guy's practicing walking down to the electric chair, and he says it's time to get it right with Jesus. And that one line out of the whole movie always gave me like goosebumps, because here's this guy in prison. He is awaiting the cheer, but just not now. They just use him to walk the line and count the steps and whatever. And he always says, it's time to get it right with Jesus. And I say, when our boobs drop, pray. Like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing?
When
This
our
is so
boobs drop,
fleeting.
pray.
It's like, this is so fleeting. The body, the perfect body is so fleeting. What else do you have left? You have your soul, you have your spirit. So, mi gente, when I tell you build on that, be honest with who you are. Create the plan, execute the build. What is it that you were set here to do? We all have a purpose. So let's stop pussyfooting around, stuck in yesterday and the woe is me and I don't know and this happened to me and it kind of left me stuck. Okay, we've been there, done that. What are we doing to build, to come out into the sunshine, to dig out that grave, to breathe and become what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to be, who we're supposed to be for others? Are we the lighthouse person in the shadows, shining the light on everybody to come to safety? Or are we who they would consider the blessed one out in the ocean being signaled by this light to come into safety? I'd rather be, which what I am, is the man in the lighthouse in the shadows. That made me tough like you just wouldn't believe. So that's when I say, when I see them demons and I see those spirits, I'm like, bring it. So, what are you becoming? What is it time for you to become right now, today? Let's see who writes anything. What are you gonna, badass?
What am I
What?
going to become today?
If
Today,
we're talking to people about becoming, to have clarity, to be
yeah.
present,
No, I
and
mean,
on
what
that
I'm
breath out,
my 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 intention, my now is to be a great co-host right now. My now for the rest of the day is to balance beautifully between being a businesswoman, because I have a lot of business stuff to take care of today, outside of the office. I have a lot of networking and meeting people, but then to be able to come home and be a phenomenal mom, and just make it a very joyful day. That is my now today. Today is all about being joyful and being me, and just shining that way with everybody that I meet today, whether it's for business or it's just hanging out at home. You said something before and I lost my train of thought, but I was thinking about the show itself. We had said that today's show specifically, we use the words things like clarity and rediscovery of self. We speak about this all the time. We're always talking about discovering self, rediscovering self, because you have to. This is daily. And if you say to yourself, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could do it every single day. Okay, you know what? There's no judgment here. You're not going to get a bad grade. This is okay. So don't do it tomorrow. And then do it the next day after that, though. Like, don't let too many days go by before you really think about yourself. Have clarity of who you are and your vision and what you want in life. Because when you do, your life just runs on autopilot, and it's like the idea of running something on autopilot and then you just completely walking away from the driver's seat and not caring at all which direction it goes. And that I'm going to tell you from experience, blows, really does. That is the best way to make things very hard for yourself. That's the best way for bad things to happen, for you to lose money, for you to have your heart broken, for you to wind up in a job that you cannot stand, with pay that you don't deserve, and being treated poorly by people. That is exactly the way to do it. So that is why you have to check in with yourself. And the interesting thing is, the more you do it, the more you want to do it, and then it does become a daily thing. And then you remind yourself every single day of who you are. My middle daughter, is really coming into this lately. She has grown in leaps and bounds in the last few months, and all of it has to do with the fact that she each day is reminding herself of who she is, and what direction she's going. Hi, Mama. Oh, we got some bed hair going on this morning. Good
she has to show
morning.
herself. Say good morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Oh.
you said something really important, and I think when Liza says she feels like a butterfly, always transforming, and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to always grow. And I can say today I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and I can fall on my face at the end of the day. And everybody here knows that I'm always talking about Father Yahweh. I believe in my God. It's Him, me, then everybody else. So when I feel like a little lost, and I feel like my transformations are happening too much, and I'm losing grip, and I don't understand it, I pray for clarity and direction. Listen, Father God, I be cracking you up every day when I be talking to you about my plan. So I need a little direction today. And that helps me feel centered. And I think we all have to do what makes us feel centered. But for me, that's what makes me feel centered. In all my craziness, that's how I plan without planning. I'm always saying, this is what's going on. I'm not understanding it. So where am I supposed to go? Who am I supposed to meet? What message am I supposed to receive? And I even say, you know what? I prayed for this and I'm waiting on the message, but can you be as specific with the message, with the answer as I was with asking for it? Because I might lose it. And that's what keeps me focused. Why? Because I'm giving the best I can with what I have. And if we enter every season of our lives giving the best, no matter how many times we fall, knowing we're not going to give up, because there's something to this life. And we weren't born by mistake. And we didn't come into a tribe by mistake. It's all a learning process. It's all a give and take. So what is it that you want to become? And Liza, you're absolutely right. We are always transforming like the beautiful butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't realize, because the butterfly doesn't know it's beautiful. It just is.
If you don't mind, we have some really great comments. First, I want to say good morning to Wanda. Good morning to Benita. Good morning to Francia. We were just talking about you.
Benita and Francia.
We were just talking about you yesterday, that we missed you. Okay, so let's see what we have. You've all been, I apologize if I'm not keeping up. So I'm just going to put a few of these on here.
Oh my God, there's so many comments. Yes.
I know Anna says, I am the igniter that puts the fire on other people to get shit done. I'm also that person that people levitate to for venting. Okay, and you just have to make sure you keep yourself protected for that. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But if it gets to start to affect your spirit, then you have to decide a different tactic, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with, people will radiate towards you when you have a specific energy. Liza says,
you're like a magnet.
Exactly. Liza says, I am becoming authentic in my walk by speaking truth within myself and all who I come in contact with. And she put it into capitals. So she's really putting it there. Gladiator Guru wrote, I am becoming in my now to see it with my clarity, with discernment and direction towards my legacy in love. Let's see. Editha put, my now is not trying to please everyone in my life and putting me first, doing what I love and not feeling guilty about it and learning to say no. Yes, we've said it before. No is a whole sentence. It's a complete sentence. Let's see. I've lost friends and realized they were not my friends, and know that I will not compromise myself for anyone. Eartha Kitt said it best. I'm in love with myself and I need someone to share that with. Absolutely.
Yes, I love Eartha.
All right. Anybody else? What do we got? Madeline wrote, my now is that I'm going to move forward by writing down my daily intention and weekly goal of setting 30 minutes aside for myself to breathe and break down and forgive myself. That's phenomenal. This is the whole point. Let's see. Gail says, I want to hold your heart as you weep yourself free and wipe away the tears when you feel release. And Liza says, I love that. This is wonderful. And this is why the show is so great, because you're all contributing to this. These are pearls and words and pearls of wisdom. And feel free to copy any of that, just to remind. They could be a mantra for you. They could be an affirmation for you by just writing down what some of the tribe is talking about, because this is it. It is the now. If not when, that's that question. If not when, if not now, when? If you are not going to choose yourself and work on yourself and continuously work on other people to satisfy what is missing with you, just think about how that's worked out for you, right? Because most of us, when people say a midlife crisis hits, I think midlife crisis really is that time when people finally start to wake up and feel discomfort of them having made choices that they weren't really happy about. And instead of being honest with themselves, they become very honest at that moment in time, and then they just go off the deep end, and then people look at them like it's a bad thing. Although I don't hear that expression nearly as much anymore. Years ago, like 20 years ago, they used to talk about that a lot, especially with regards to men. Oh, he's midlife crisis, you know. But I think now it's more just like people are starting to understand that the reason we do what we do, that we do these really crazy, odd things sometimes in our 40s or even our 50s, because we finally got so uncomfortable with how we're feeling because we didn't make the choices that we felt were best for us. And you won't know that unless you sit with yourself and decide who the F you are,
Yeah.
who you are, what you want, why you want it, and where you plan to go with it. What did you learn from all the experiences you had in your life? How has it made you a better person, a better human? And what are you going to do about it?
You know, we love to share our sad sorrows with people because it makes us feel good. And you're absolutely right. When we, oh my God, wait, someone wants to say hello because now her hair's brushed.
Oh, yay.
Say,
Hi, Mama.
so let me tell you something. In The Alchemist,
only children could clean up that quickly. What was that, like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And she's like gorgeous either
and
way.
believe it or not, they put her in the shower every morning before school. So, but let me tell you, when you pretend to be something you're not, you're gonna fall deeper into a pit.
Let me show her my dress.
Sure. I'm sorry.
Show us
She
her
wants
dress.
to show you her dress. I'm sorry, people.
Oh,
But it's
so
just like what we're talking
beautiful.
about. She doesn't understand her energy, and I don't want to send her to school with a no. Even though I was going to say, once upon a time, I said no. And guess what? That's a whole book. So when you said about no as a whole sentence, it is a
I
book.
like that.
Once upon a time, I said no. Y ya. Punto se acabó. And we really, as women, got to get used to even telling ourselves, no, get out of that thought. Put your big girl panties on. Pray on it. Walk. Meditate. Do something other than marinate in that bullshit. We have to be our own advocate. You got to be the warrior for your spirit. And when you don't do that, then you really don't want to listen to good advice from people. And Anna, people come to us because we are like our energy. But then what happens when they put all that trash on you, like you're a garbage disposal, and now you're heavy and you can't do that? Let me tell you something. In The Alchemist, we read about Santiago's journey, and many people loved it. Santiago walked his journey. He met people along the way, but he walked his own journey. And if you really love that story, he even helped the merchant and then said, okay, I got to go. I got shit to do. And he left when he said he was going to leave because he had a journey. And if you really understand that book, you would understand that when you have faith in what it is you have to do, even though you cannot see it, you can achieve it. But you got to believe that there's something bigger. It's not only you, because if it was only you, you'll keep falling on your face. So when you take that deep breath in, you're being accountable for the life that you have. When you're letting it out, you're removing all the toxicity that you allow to dwell within your space. So what are you becoming? How will you gain clarity if you're not breathing out the bullshit that you've allowed to take up space in your temple?
Yeah.
So then you breathe it out and then learn that no matter how scary this journey is to becoming, it don't matter how old you are, you're going to get there because you're choosing to. And that's the bottom line in all our stories, is that we choose to be the person we were born to be. And it's scary sometimes because we've allowed ourselves to dwell in really dark places. And no one was going to come save us because we had to save our own ass. We put ourselves there, now let's get ourselves out. And we keep waiting. So there's really no age limit as to come out into who you're supposed to be. Do you agree, Badass?
Well, and you said something really key. Yes, I do. And you said something really key. You said we choose. I think that's the hardest, bitterest pill to swallow is the fact that where we are right now, everything that has happened to us, positive or negative, we freaking chose. And yes, it stinks. It stinks. You know, I mean, we have to be careful with this in the sense that some people will say, well, I didn't choose to get beat. I didn't choose to get attacked. No, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is we chose to be in situations, though, that ended up moving us in that direction. We didn't choose these bad people to come in our lives, but we chose not to choose ourselves and be open and paying attention. And then these people came in, these situations happened. And then we made a choice after that. You know, for those of us who were in bad relationships and we chose to stay in them, that's on us. We didn't choose for the people to come into our lives, but we attracted them. They came. We were so blind that we couldn't see. We didn't see any red flags. And then we chose to stay when the red flags were presented to us. So that's what I'm talking about. And the reason you don't want to take away that power, you know, people don't like taking accountability for stuff. I get it. But when we take away that choice, when we say, I'm not choosing, you know, I didn't make that choice, you're giving away your power. So if you take accountability for some of it and say, I did choose this, I chose to stay, I chose to ignore. So guess what? I could choose not to stay, I could choose not to ignore, and I could choose me, and I could choose to pay attention. Today's conversation is breathe out the now. That's how we're starting this month. And Thursday's conversation is breathing in the to be. Because when you breathe in, you're breathing in possibility. Just like Gladiator Guru's saying, breathe in the beauty. You're breathing in possibilities. And possibilities are future. They're not present. They're future. Breathe them in and you breathe out the bullshit. And the now doesn't have to be bullshit. But what we want you to do is with that breath out, acknowledge your now. And even if there's bullshit there, breathe it out, get rid of it. It's gone. Bye-bye. But
sometimes you're the bullshit, though. Sometimes you and your negative thinking is the bullshit. Listen, right. and I appreciate what you said. Hola, Jenny, Dios te bendiga. My son-in-law's on. Let me tell you something. When I say, when things happen to us and we stayed, we choosing it, I'm not going to give a whole explanation. Oh, but I don't mean that because you got this. And I'm not going to give that. Let me tell you, I'm a survivor of many traumatic events in my life. And I know not everybody is like me. I was told that all my life, well, everybody can be like you. That's fine. It was my choice to choose that what happened to me is not what I choose to become. What has happened to me, I have not chosen to become. Why? Because I know that whatever happened to me, I didn't ask to be raped, but I was. But how I rose from that is my choice. So did I want to stay a victim of rape and talk always about my rape story? I talk about my rape story, but I talk about it in a sense as though it didn't even happen to me. You know why? Because I removed it and I speak about it as a learning tool that, you know what? People will come at you with shit. It's how you stand your ground. All right, I fell. I got wounded. I got cut. I got stitches. My soul felt abandoned and robbed and violated. Yes. But how I choose to take that and be of service and help those without a voice, that's my mission. That's my assignment. People say, oh, God does not let that happen, but he gives you the wisdom and the strength to turn it around and be of service and learn from it and teach from it and how to grow from it. I'm a warrior in all sense of the word. When I created the quote, I was not born with peace in my heart. I was born with the sword in my hand. I have always been brave. It is because of the travesties and tragedies. But it doesn't mean that I'm that person. I'm that woe is me type of person. So when you find yourself in a situation and you take the fucking blinders off and you realize that he is cheating, that he is abusive, that he is emotionally attacking you, that he is financially binding you, when you realize that and you come up with 50 fucking excuses to stay, then it's your fault, mama. Because the curtains were open and you were allowed to see your life for what it was, and you made the choice to stay and continue. Or you said, fuck this shit, got your plastic bags, loaded what you could, and moved out of town. And you know what?
Isn't that
People are
go ahead.
always willing to help you when you make a decision for you. So if you're with a man, people are like, well, you got a man, take care of it. The minute you decide to choose you, people are opening their doors for you because they've seen what you were blinded to for years, and you didn't want to hear them. You cut ties. You even cut your family off because they were telling you the truth and you didn't want to see it. So when you choose to blind yourself, then it is your fault. Then what is happening to you, you are choosing. And I have no excuses when I say that out loud, when I say that when I have workshops or nothing. You know why? Because it is the God honest truth. When you come up with excuses for how people are treating you, it's your choice to be there. And you know what, Liza, we all make mistakes. And and this show is about that. I'm not going to be apologetic for what I say, because I'm unapologetically courageous. And it's not about who likes me and who doesn't like me. It's about me walking in this time in my life, speaking what I've experienced, not what I'm reading in books, not what I've heard someone say, but what I have lived through. And we all have a choice after the fact of a tragedy, of a trauma. You still choose how to rise above it. That's why we chose The Alchemist, because it teaches you, no matter how many times you're robbed, you're beaten, you're in a whole other country, you don't know the language, you still focus on you. Go ahead.
You reminded me of that expression. Let me put it up. I put it on there. A wise woman once said, F this shit, and she lived happily ever after. But it's true. It's when you were talking about you chose, if it's all in front of you and you're still choosing to just ignore it and make excuses, then it's on you, and you are in charge of your happiness. No one's saying it's easy. No one's saying that when you finally wake up and you see the big pile of crap that you are in because of the choices that you have made, nobody's saying it's just good. You're going to be like, oh, okay. And you're just going to jump out and you're going to be clean as a whistle and you're going to walk out and everything's going to be fine. Sometimes you're so stuck in that pile. It's such a deep pile that you can't even pull yourself out. Then you come to realize that it's all crap and it stinks and it's awful and you want it off of you, and it takes time. And then you get out and it takes time to wash it off of you and clean yourself. And it takes time. Even when you look clean, you still smell like it. That's the whole point. The longer you're in it and the longer you just hang out in it, the harder it is it's going to be to get out. The harder it is. And not always. I shouldn't even say that. I have seen incredible things happen where people have just walked away and said that exact expression, men and women, and been like, I'm done, I'm out. And they did. They managed to walk through a car wash or something and get it all rinsed off, and they just kept walking through, and then that was that. Never looked back, never worried about it again. Those are just rare people. So vast majority are just clinging to it. Still like, I still smell poop, and then realize they still have it on their shoe because they just refuse to completely clean off or throw out the shoes and get a new pair. The point is that we are here, and we're getting older, and you have to decide what matters to me. What happened in the past? You could always look back. Did I make choices that I was happy about? Is my life going the way I wanted it to? So you do have to reflect, but don't stay there. You reflect, you just say, okay, nope, I'm not where I want to be today, or I'm not quite where I want to be today. And then you make the plan. You breathe out that now. here I am. And then we're going to talk on Thursday about breathing in the possibilities of what you want to become.
Yeah, Madeline wrote, I go to church now, not because I have to, but because my soul calls for it. Beautiful. And when you receive a calling, act upon it, and then don't complain that nothing good happens to you. Come with me or not, but the car is leaving. That's it. That's setting boundaries. And that's standing firm in what you believe in and not being worried about who's going to like it and who doesn't. I think for me, and Madeline, as you're saying, is the biggest insult we give Father Yahweh is when we allow people to manipulate us. Because what does that say about the I am, which dwells within the I am? So the self-sabotaging, ignoring the red flags, feeling pathetic, woe is me. It's all you. It's all you. So evaluate that spirit of neediness. Evaluate that spirit of always vibrating low, because it is where you're choosing to be. When you choose to walk in your truth, you're gonna face a lot of people going against you. You're gonna hit a brick wall. You're going to have doors close in your face. Do you think that I worry about coming on this show and who's gonna come on and say they don't like it because I say cuss words sometimes, or because my view on what is happening, someone might take it the wrong way? I am not responsible for how you receive what I am saying. I am responsible for speaking my truth. If you choose to get offended because you're misconstruing by the time it leaves my mouth and enters your ears on what I'm saying, it is not my problem, nor is it my intentional purpose to have hurt you. You're not ready to receive the truth, so you're going to twist it and make it an ugly that's coming out of me. Hold on. Bye, baby.
That's what Gwen said. Someone told me 3 powerful words, not my problem. Liza wrote, we become for some reason our own hypocrites. David Lee wrote something that was great. He said, when someone from the outside can give you their perspective because they've been there, it's really helpful. Absolutely. The thing is, though, we also have to be willing to receive it, because a lot of times people give us fantastic advice, information, even the stuff that is not like it doesn't fit us. That's the point. Let them give you the advice because you've decided who you are and you know what works for you. So you could look at them, be honored that they gave you the advice, but know very clearly that that won't work for me, instead of trying it because someone gave me the advice. But that's the beauty of it, is to be able to receive it. He also wrote,
well, the bottom line is, when you're becoming, and I know we're running out of time, when you're choosing to become who you truly are meant to be again, it doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're my age. It don't matter if you're 55 and you're just like getting it, like that light bulb is lighting on. What matters is you are alive and you're getting it. You're waking up and you can turn that page into the new chapter of your life. And when you do revisit your past, because in order for you to heal, you do have to, don't get when I talk about how people who suffer anxiety, it's because they're thinking about what already happened or what's going to happen, and they're not in there now. But in order for you to heal, you got to go back. You got to rip that scab off because it didn't heal correctly, obviously, and then tend to it, acknowledge it, forgive it, let it go, come back to your present, and be who you are, without worrying who's going to misconstrue your words, who's going to think you're ungodly, who's going to think that you have wisdom. Who gives a shit? I'm walking in my truth. I trust my spirit. So when I come up and I'm going to pop off and I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that, I am a messenger, but I'm also a realist. So if you like me, fine. You got to thank you for being a friend. And if you don't, that's not my choice. Because when you come up to me and you ask me something, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. If you don't like my answer, that's you. That's a reflection of you. It is not me. So I am becoming to be a little more smooth around the edges for my sake as well. But I'm never going to change who I am. So if you don't want to hear the truth, I am not the person to come to. Because I am that becoming. You want to hear the truth because the truth is going to slap you in the face. Welcome to the tribe.
Absolutely.
That's it. And David P, call me. He says, I need some Margie wisdom.
Well, anybody that I put the link on there to click on the link if you know, and share it with any woman that you know has a story to tell. And if you are interested yourself, just click on the link and it'll give you all the information you need. And then you can reach out and we can set up a time to have a chat. The deadline for the application is the end of this month. And we have 12 spots left to fill. We've already filled 3. And I just started posting this. So good morning, Marina. She's in the house.
Good morning. Happy belated birthday, Marina. Let me tell you, if you haven't read her badass story, 1, 2, 3, read it. It is rich. It is inviting. It is invigorating. It is some of the lessons in there. You cannot pay for the price of the book you'll be buying. If you have a story to tell, then share it because you don't know how many lives you'll be changing. Like the women, like Chanel was in one of the books.
So was Gail.
And Gail, and you will be participating in showering light on other women's lives because of what you went through, and you were courageous enough to share. And that's what I love about her badass story. And I love the fact that the badass Buddha came up with it, stuck with it, did the first, did the second, did the third, and is now willing to do the fourth because there's stories that need to be told. You know, there's light to be shined upon. There's lessons to learn. There's graves to undig for you to come back alive. And I think if you want to participate, please reach out to her. If you just want to grow in knowledge and understand that you're not alone in whatever it is you went through, by the books. They're phenomenal.
Well, thank you for the plug. All right. Thank you so much for being here. So we will see you on Thursday. And welcome to the becoming month of March. Happy that you're here. We love you, tribe. We love all the commentary. It was fantastic today. We love how many people came on today. It was great. So thank you so much. So that's it. That's it, right, Gladiator Guru? All set?
That's it.
All right. So from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.